going on? I'm Brian. This is Shamrock'n Records, and I wanted to make a video today because I'm gonna be going away for a couple days. I'm going to Boston tomorrow afternoon. I'm gonna be there for the weekend. My daughter is in dance competitions, and she has a competition this weekend in Boston, and so I'm gonna be there, you know, Friday night, Saturdays, and Sunday. So lots of dancing going on. Hopefully I'm gonna break away and do a little digging in Boston. That's the whole plan. I know she does a solo. She's got her solo at like 9:30 in the morning, and then like their awards, they have awards later on at night at like 5 o'clock. So I'm hoping to break out of there like 10 o'clock in the morning, spend the day digging with my buddy Mike. So that's the plan. So stay tuned, and who knows, maybe I'll even take a little footage if I can break away. But anyway, I wanted to show my recent finds. I haven't really done that in a while. I know I just made a video this week, like literally like 2 days ago, for Andy's 777 contest. You know, thank you, Andy, for doing this contest. It was a lot of fun. I made a video about Celtic rock, and it's something that's near and dear to my heart, and I haven't really done it. And for a long time, I've been wanting to do like an Irish Celtic rock kind of video, so it gave me an excuse to finally do it. So thank you, Andy. It was a lot of fun, and I've actually had a lot of cool comments from all of you guys, so thank you so much. It means a lot. You have no idea how much it means, because that is some of my favorite kind of music, and I don't feel like a lot of people talk about it too much on here, so I didn't know how the responses would be. I was actually waiting for a bunch of like thumbs down and people unsubscribing, but that hasn't happened yet, I don't think. Anyway, we'll get on with it. What we're listening to right now is a record that I've been wanting for quite some time. It's called Swallowed by the New, and it's the newest record by Glenn Phillips. And Glenn Phillips, if you don't know, is the lead singer of Toad the Wet Sprocket. He broke off many years ago and started doing his own solo stuff. Here's the track listing. This is the first track, Go, that we're listening to right now. Beautiful song. This whole album is pretty emotional. If you probably can't hear the lyrics, but he's saying I love you, but now go. Basically, this record was written right after his divorce. So it's one of those divorce records that we get so many of these days from these singer-songwriters, and it's too bad, you know. Like, I started listening to Glenn, you know, Toad the Wet Sprocket is my favorite band. I've mentioned it many times. You know, you see these artists grow up. I mean, I started listening to Glenn when he was a teenager. You know, Toad started, they were teenagers when they started Toad the Wet Sprocket, and you know, now he's, you know, in his 40s and he's getting a divorce, and it's like, wow, like you see these idols and these people you go through their whole life and you listen to their records, and it's like you feel like you know them, you know. And I'm glad that Glenn wrote this record because it's very emotional. I love it. So kind of a tough one to get. If there's any Toad the Wet Sprocket fans or Glenn Phillips fans out there, that's one that you can only get on his website. You can't really find it in stores. I don't know if it has distribution or what, but it is on his website. So if you want it, check it out. This next one, Cranberries, No Need to Argue. I don't think I showed it. I think I had it in the background on one of my videos, but I know I haven't shown it. I actually picked this up the day Dolores passed. I was actually texting with Jay Paddy and Sean's Lock and James the Vinyl Professor, and I was telling them how I got this gift card for Christmas from Barnes & Noble, and I was unsure of what I was going to purchase. And I was thinking I was going to get like Matthew Sweet's 100% Fun, or I've been wanting the Lemonheads also, Come On Feel, and Shame About Ray. So I was kind of like getting ready to pull a trigger on one of them, and then I heard the news of Dolores passing. And within like 30 seconds, I was like, you know what? I need No Need to Argue, because I don't want to miss that record. I don't want it to like sell out and then I won't be able to find it and the prices just get jacked up. So that Barnes & Noble's had it in stock. This is the limited edition of 1000 Turquoise. I don't know if you want to see it, but it's pretty. So yeah, it's Cranberries. Let's see, next one I picked up at Goodwill. I already had this particular record. You all know it. It's classic, one of my favorite jazz records. But I picked this one up because it's a 6i. And I did not have a 6i of this. This is not an original. This looks, after doing a little research in Discogs, it looks like this is a 60s reissue, 1960 reissue. But I had my copy's a 70s reissue, so that's a little bit nicer for me. And yeah, let's see. No, actually, no, I don't think I picked anything else up that day. But I did get another record in the mail. I have some online things here. I got record shop things here. I got all different things. But this next one is a record that I've been wanting for a long time on vinyl, but it was never issued. And this is Guster's Goldfly. This came out in the 90s. All right, this came out when I was listening to a lot of jam bands. I was listening to a lot of like Dave Matthews and you know, Fish and Rusted Root, and you know, I went to college in Western Mass, and you know, it was in the 90s, and there was a lot of like, where I went to school is only about 15-20 minutes, probably about 20 minutes from Bennington, Vermont, and it's kind of like a hippie town, and so there's a lot of like that hippie kind of thing, and like, you know, in the mid 90s, that whole jam band thing was humongous. And these guys aren't really jam; they're more poppy jam, I guess you could say. That they were formed in Boston at Tufts University. I don't think any of them were actually from Boston, but they all kind of went to school at Tufts and they formed. It's a three-piece. But it became one of my favorites. I absolutely love this. And they hadn't pressed it on vinyl. And I always go on to like certain bands' websites, okay? Now this is a tip for anybody out there that's listening. If you're looking for something on vinyl and you're going on to like website, if you're going on Amazon or any of these like huge websites looking for records, okay, even Discogs, sometimes you can't find certain things, but if you go to that particular artist's website, wow, I tell you can have some good luck just going to the artist's website. I found so many records that I never knew were even pressed on vinyl just by going to that artist's website. This is the case for this record. It was just released, I believe, this year. It doesn't say on the... Yeah, 2007, so the end of last year. I will show the vinyl. It is on gold, so gold fly on gold is pretty cool. But they only made 500 of these. All right, and when I went onto their website, it was already sold out, and I flipped out. I was so upset because this is a record that has meant so much to me. There's a song called Demons that is just one of my favorite songs ever, and I used to play that on my guitar all the time, like in college and after college, like at parties. We'd always have like sing-alongs, and you know, it'd always get requested or whatnot, and I would always end up busting that out on my guitar. And so that song just kind of means a lot. It's something that I always had on like all like my mixed CDs or mixtapes or whatever I was making at the time. It was always on the mix. But yeah, so I needed that. It finally came out. I'm gonna stop blabbing about Guster now. So let's see the next group here. Excuse me. I picked up from Jonathan, a Cheap and Cheerful record collector. As you guys know, Jonathan's a good friend of mine. We text each other almost daily, pretty much daily. We get together quite a bit. I see him every so often. And in one of his last videos, he had showed a stack of records that he got from a friend. And he wasn't completely familiar with them. So I shot him a text and I was like, hey man, I was like, there's like 3 records out of that stack that I don't have that I've been looking for. So if you want to part ways, let me know and maybe we can work out a deal. So he's like, yeah man, I'll sell you some. So I was like, sweet. So from that little stack, I picked up Neutral Milk Hotel and Airplane Over the Sea, which I've just absolutely have loved this record for quite some time now. And I've never had it on vinyl. I'm so excited. I've only had it on CD. So this is one of my indie bands. Great artwork on this. You know what? I'll tell you. I don't know if it's an original or not. I think it's one of the reissues. There's so many reissues of this record, but it's hard to tell. I can't really. I went on the Discogs, and it's very hard to tell. A lot of the matrix are the same. The labels are the same. So I can't really tell. I think it's a reissue. I don't really care. I just love that record. Anyway, I also got On Avery Island from Jonathan. Neutral Milk Hotel's first record, which I'll be honest, I am not that familiar with this one. I need to spin this and spin it and spin it and spin it and get acquainted with this one because I really only know the other one. So, and then the last one I picked up from Jonathan was Nirvana's Unplugged in New York. For me, the only Nirvana I need. I'm not a Nirvana fan. I always loved this one. I really enjoyed the covers that they did on here. You know, what is it? The Meat Puppets and Bowie. So this for me was the Nirvana record for me. Went shopping in downtown Portland. Probably about a week or 2 ago, and I hit a couple of the shops, and the first shop I went into, the first thing I find blew me away. It's something I've been looking for a while, and you guys know I love Frankie Miller. Well, this is one of the Frankie Millers I've been looking for, and I found it for $4. I was so excited, and it's a promo, and Frankie Miller, like I said before, he's from Scotland, pub rock, blue-eyed soul. He's, you know, friends with like Bob Seger, and sounds a lot like Seger, but to me sounds even more like Rod Stewart. But the funny thing about this record is whenever I mention Frankie Miller to somebody, usually I'll go into like a record shop and they're like, oh, you got any Frankie Miller? And either they're just like clueless and don't know who he is, or they'll be like, oh yeah, the guy with the hat. Yeah, this is why the record with the hat. So this is the one. I finally got the record with the hat. So you know, I'll show the label. I know some of you out there like to see the labels, and I'm never good with showing labels. So I'm gonna try to show a little more labels on some of these older records. So, and you know who the person. Somebody mentioned something about labels to me yesterday, so I'm doing this one for you. You know who you are. This next record, Redheaded Stranger by Willie Nelson. And this is something that I had been looking for a clean copy for a long time to actually give to Headley. I wanted to find this for Headley. I knew Headley, another fat bearded man, talking about records. If you don't watch his channel, please go check his channel out. It is one of the best channels in the VC. Absolutely love Headley. Very knowledgeable and very funny. And anyway, this is a record that he'd been looking for the longest time and has not been able to find. And so I've been looking high and low to grab this for him. Because he sent me some VCLT a while ago, and I really want to repay him. So I finally find it, and then he already found one. So I'm keeping it. I love this record. I've actually had it in my my car for quite some time now. I've been listening to this pretty much non-stop, and this is just on the red Columbia label. I've pretty much been listening to this non-stop for like the last month now. I wasn't really that familiar with it. Everybody says how it's like his best record. I'm not familiar with his catalog. Yeah, I know like greatest hits and whatnot. I have a couple records by Willie Nelson. I can see why they say this is his best record. This is beautiful. And in particular, the track that I love is called Hands on the Wheel. So check that song out if you're not familiar with this record. It's not one of the big ones. It's not one of the popular ones, but it's the one that hits me. This next record, I was very shocked to find because I never see this band. It's the Walker Brothers, the Walker Brothers Story, and this is a double LP. Excuse me. That beer is coming up a little bit. But anyway, the Walker Brothers is 60s pop. I don't know how else to... This is pure pop. Not much in the... It's, actually, there's a lot going on here for Danny. Over at Not Enough Records. Danny at Not Enough Records. I love his channel too. Check his channel out too if you're not watching him. I know he's pretty good buddies with Andrew from Tales from the Crate. They've gone out digging. Andrew talks about him a lot in his videos. He and I have a lot of the same taste, so I've really been enjoying Danny's videos. Chatting with Danny. But Danny's doing a really cool contest right now. I really wanted to make a video, and I'm not going to be able to do it. I don't have the time to make a video for his contest. And if you hear that yelling, that is my daughter yelling about something upstairs. What? You lost... My daughter just lost a tooth, I think. Huh? So, I should probably run right now. Alright, I'm back. And, I have a souvenir. I don't know if you guys can see that, but... Yeah, I just pulled out my daughter's tooth. So... What other kind of excitement are you going to get in the VC? Pulling out teeth. Was not expecting that. She's had this palate expander in her mouth, and she finally got it out today, all excited. So she hasn't been able to have like any of like special treats, like, you know, a lot of like the sticky chewy candy and like all this stuff. So me being the good dad that I am, stop at the store today and buy her, you know, chewy candy. So she loves Swedish fish. She hasn't been able to eat them, so I buy her some Swedish fish. She eats some Swedish fish and pops one of her teeth out. I have no luck. So anyway, yeah, the Walker Brothers, some 60s pop, really cool stuff. I'm not gonna talk too much about it. Anyway, but Danny's record, Danny at Not Enough Records is doing a really cool contest right now, and it ends this weekend. And I'm not gonna have enough time, Danny. I apologize. I really wanted to do this for you, buddy. But he's doing a 100 subs contest about liner notes, and this Record, Danny, has tons. So if I was gonna do your contest, this was gonna be in it. But I really just don't have the time. I'm really sorry, buddy. And Andrew, Tales from the Crate, I really wanted to do a funeral song contest for you too. If you're watching, I apologize. I don't think I'm gonna have the time. Maybe down the road I'll get to it, but there's just so much going on in my life. You know, like I said, I'm not gonna be around this weekend. I've been working a ton. There's just so many of you guys that I just love watching, and you know, I want to take part in all these threads and all these contests. Jeff Kempkin still has his 100 subs contest, where there's just been a million people doing that. So I don't want to give him another entry, because the poor guy's probably had about 100 entries already. He's probably sick of watching all these entries. I mean, I've never seen a contest have so many entries. So Jeff, congratulations on that, man. That's just been awesome. I actually had a bunch of records pulled out for that too, but I'm just not gonna have the time. I mean, I still have a few more here. You know, maybe I'll just show later on. But I do want to show this one. This one just came in the mail the other day, and it's kind of funny because I just made my Celtic rock record mixtape for Andy, and I used the CD, and because I've been waiting for this to show up. I wanted to make the video for Andy with this because I knew it was coming in the mail, and it just arrived yesterday. So finally got it on vinyl. Also, this record here was my winnings, I guess, from the Pretty Green Vinyl Guys contest. I won his contest a couple months ago, and he sent me a gift card, an Amazon gift card for Canada. That was the prize, and this is what I chose for my contest winning. So Edwin, Pretty Green Vinyl Guy, thank you so much, man. I hope you approve, and you know what, I'm gonna take off. Cheers and happy St. Paddy's. Hey, St. Paddy's is on Saturday, so wish me luck digging, and hopefully I'll get a little bit of footage. All right, take care, guys. Cheers.